Hi guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster and it feels like it's about -50 out today. Now I've just got over a little dose of man flu and I really don't want to be out traipsing around in the cold and the wet. So I thought I'd do a short video for you today on the progression of my cook kit. Now I've got a number of different items here. Some of them I've had for years, others I've picked up relatively recently, and all of them do a really good job. And I thought I'd just show you kind of, the options, or some of the options that are out there, why I use what I use. Some of these things I've kind of sort of packed away for a time being now. I don't use them that often, but they're really useful if I've got friends that come out with me. And I think what I'll do, I'll move the camera just a little bit closer in and I'll show you what it is I've got. Right then guys, well I hope you'll excuse the gloves, I'm trying to stop myself from getting frostbite. And to start off with, I wanted to show you this. Now this is a Crusader Canteen cup. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. This is a Crusader Canteen cup. They're military style cups and they're designed to have a nesting plastic bottle inside. This little lid, stainless steel lid with a little loop on the end so that you can get a stick in there and take it off to check whether things are boiling. I bought that separately, but they're relatively well available, and these are really good little bits of kit. You can boil water in them, you can cook fairly simple food in them, you can do soups, you can do stews, pasta, noodles, all these kind of things. I mean, you can even do more extravagant things. You can kind of bake bread or cakes and that kind of thing. Not something I do very often. And one of the things I found really useful this, and this was just something I really just wanted to kind of let you guys know in case you fancy trying it, is that if this is sitting on your coals or over a flame or even just close by to a fire to heat up, because it's stainless steel, it can get quite hot. And what I often found was that you would burn things in the bottom of the cup. Now, to get away with that, what I would take is a piece of tin foil. I didn't think to bring any out with me today actually, and I would fold it into kind of like a, I don't know, a ½ inch strip, and then make a sort of zigzag pattern out of it, and then put that in the bottom of the cup. I'd then take another piece of tin foil and kind of almost make like a liner for the cup that sits on top of that, and that way you still get the heat but nothing gets burnt on the bottom. It's a really good thing for things like stews, noodles, pasta, rice, that kind of thing, where you don't want too much direct heat at the bottom, or you don't want to sit there stirring it constantly. Now, as I say, these are really nice little containers. They're great for making coffee in, and as I said, simple food. But they are a little bit weighty in comparison to some of the others, and they're a bit of an odd shape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this one to the side. And the thing I progressed onto from this, and most of you will be familiar with these, is this. Now this is a billy can. It's made by Zebra, very well known make. And one of the benefits of Zebra is, so you get your lid, nothing unusual there, fairly standard fare. But inside you also get this little dish. Now you can use this to eat out of, you can use this to cook or steam things while you're cooking something else underneath. You can even use these for baking, and if any of you are familiar with the folding firebox that I use, you will probably know that you can do a modification to these where you get little metal clips for the bay alarm, so that when you put your lid on, I haven't got it on this version obviously, but you can clip that into place. You can then put a small hole in there with a thermometer so you can roast things, you can bake things, and they are really useful. The only problem I find with these is that they are a little bit limited. I mean, you can cook practically anything in this, but they are a little bit on the bulky side. The shape doesn't really work very well with my pack and the way I pack it. If I was going camping with like several people, I would probably take this with me. We'd get a good stew going in this, and then maybe one of the other pots for something else to go with it. But I do really like billy cans, but you have to have you need to be using it for the right kind of thing, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. And I'd certainly never get rid of this because it is very useful. What shall I move on to next? I'm going to leave these two for last. And what I'll do, let me just show you my brew kit, which you will be familiar with anyway. So I've got my Pathfinder Canteen, and I've got, if I can get it out of this container, throw everything else out, I've also got my Pathfinder Canteen cup. Now these fit really nicely into each other, so you're saving on a little bit of space there. I get to carry my water and my boiling pot in the same container. And this is great for heating water. Again, you shoot soups, stews, pasta, rice, all that kind of thing. But the one thing that I dislike about it, and it's not a massive dislike in the grand scheme of things, is that once you've boiled water in it, and say you've made a cup of coffee, and then you want to make something to eat, the problem being is that you then have to cook with this pot, and then you dirty your pot. Now yes, you can clean it, it's very simple and easy to do, but I would rather have something for boiling water, and I can, to be honest, I can actually use this. I could boil it in this container if I wanted to, but it does again slightly limit the type of cooking I can do. So what I have moved on to, and this is something I've been using for probably 3 or 4 years now, I suppose. Let me move this out the way. It's this. This is my MSR Stowaway Pot. Now these are brilliant little pots. I can't rate these highly enough. I can't remember what size this is. I think it's a 750ml, might be an 850, but it's not one of their biggest ones. Now to start with, you've got a nice little retaining clip on the front here. That allows you to release your handle, which clips in nice and firmly, and it also allows you to take off the lid. Now the benefit of this setup, I just lock it back together again very quickly. This is going nowhere. Nothing's going to fall out of this. You're not going to lose anything in the bottom of your pack. And because it's quite a large-ish container, I tend to keep all of my cooking stuff, unless it's something particularly big, in this pan. Now I will come back to this, I think, because I'll show you the other two bits very quickly, and then we'll have a proper look at this pan. So most of you will be familiar with what's inside here. This is my little titanium plate made by Life Ventures. I can fry in it. I mean, you can even boil water in it, though it's a little bit tricky, to be honest. And that, alongside a little pot grip that sits in the front pouch of here, I can use this. I can get a good grip on it. I can hold it over a fire. I can place it on the fire, remove the grip, leave it there, pick it back up. And this weighs absolutely nothing. I mean, this is, you know, I can hold this with just my thumb and my little finger, wave it about. There's just nothing to it. Also, when you're out in the field, you can take, and I think I had one lying around, you can take a stick or a thin branch like so. You can put a little diagonal saw cut in and then wedge it into the side of this pan. And what that gives you essentially is a frying pan with a handle as long or as short as you want it. Really, really useful. I think these are great. They're just, if it's just me going out by myself, I'll generally take this. I can knock up a quick fry up or whatever it is I'm cooking in this, no bother. I don't have to worry about using my my little pot that I'm using to boil my water, so I've got something for cooking in, something for boiling water in. And then finally, this is something I picked up very recently. I haven't used this yet. Again by MSR, and this is the MSR Seagull Pan. Now it comes in two parts. You have the pan there, which is actually slightly bigger than this one, though not quite as deep. And it comes with a little kind of pot grip, sits with it. That locks in like so, and you've got yourself a frying pan. You know, you can cook in this, you know, and because this is a bit deeper and a bit bigger than the titanium one, I'll just give you a bit of a size comparison. Where are we? There we go. So it's deeper, it's, where are we? I can't even see myself on the camera. There we go. It's slightly, what's the word I'm looking for? Slightly smaller. It kind of just tucks inside here, which means I can carry both of these, especially if I'm going away with sort of 2 or more people. I've got 2 frying pans here, and I will probably carry this as well. Now, last little thing, my little titanium spork. I've probably had this about 10-15 years, truth be told. And you know, it's great. You know, you can carry it around. It doesn't weigh a great deal. You can use it for stubbing things, and you can use it for eating things. And that's really if I can't be bothered making a spoon out in the field, which is what I often do nowadays, to be perfectly honest. And then lastly, in a little Ziploc bag, I've just got a half piece of what is this? This is a sort of dish towel, kitchen towel kind of thing, but it's just there to help me clean up if I need to. I like using it in a Ziploc bag because it gets all wet and messy and dirty, especially if you're trying to like clean some of the sort of soot and residue off the bottom of your pans, you can keep it in here in your pack and it's not going to get anything dirty or wet. So last but not least, this is probably my favourite pan. I may even look at getting one of the bigger ones of these in the future. But the little MSR Stowaway, great little pan. And what I thought I would do, just to wrap this video up, I thought I would show you what it is I keep in here, just as a general rule. So I've got a little bit of cuppa soup. Normally keep at least one packet in there, just in case I get cold while I'm out and want something to warm me up a bit. I have got some little containers which I have got salt and pepper in one. I've got a kind of savoury seasoning. I can't remember who makes this now. It's really nice. Adds a lot of kick to your food. I've got another one with garlic powder in as well, which I didn't bring out with me, and I've just got one with a little bit of oil. And again, because these are watertight, you know, I can carry oil or butter for cooking and frying. For me, just makes everything that much more pleasant, that much more easy to do. Saves on your cleanup. So that's generally what I'll carry with me. I've got, how many? 1, 2, let me move this out of the way, 3, 4. So I've got 5 little packets of coffee, sugar and powdered milk. You've seen these in my videos before. Really useful, single serving. You know, I can put a bunch of those in my pack and they're ready whenever I want them. And then finally, I haven't actually used these yet, but I've got some instant noodles and some cabanos sausages, which is just kind of the next meal that I was planning on taking out with me. All of this stuff lasts really well. You know, these have got an expiry date of oh, actually I've had these for quite a while. So these expire on the 9th of the 3rd. Now if you're anything like me, I don't believe use by dates very often. Normally I'd be a bit dubious about meat, but I know that these kind of part dried or part cured sausages will last really well. They sit out here in my workshop until I want them anyway, so yeah, that's absolutely fine. Instant noodles, I don't even know if these have got a sell by date on them. October 2018, so yeah, there's no way these are going to last before that date goes off. Oh, and then finally, I always keep just a standard. Now, can I do this in gloves? I can. I always just keep a standard sort of, you know, disposable lighter in my pack, because as much as I really prefer using ferro rods and that kind of thing, you know, I actually would like to make sure that I've got this kind of thing, you know, guaranteed fire in my hand. If I don't use it, brilliant, but you know, if I go out, the weather conditions are a bit naff, it's windy, it's rainy, it's damp, I can get 100% guarantee get a fire going with this. Right then guys, well I hope that was useful. I just wanted to give you a kind of a, you know, something to think about, you know, whether you're new into bushcraft or whether you've been doing it for a long while. You know, I was using that Crusader cup for, must have been maybe 4 or 5 years before I moved on to the next thing, which was my billy can. And you know, it was great, it did everything I wanted it to do, but I wanted to sort of branch out a bit, be a little bit more versatile. You know, the things like the billy can, and especially the MSR Stowaway Pot have allowed me to kind of cook more and different varieties of things that potentially I otherwise wouldn't have been able to do, or wouldn't have been able to do very well. And I think that's the point of this, you know, all of these items I still use, this predominantly more than most, or where has it gone? Or my little titanium plate. I will be using this MSR Frying Pan a lot more regularly in the near future, alongside this, and you'll see some videos coming up with my little folding firebox stove, and I think I'm going to start using this for that in the very near future. So I'd realised this video's rambled on a little bit guys, so I hope it was useful. Comments and questions in the box below. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I hope you'll all join me next time. Cheers guys.